The most immediate threat might be common methods of daily communication. Notes through email, text, and Facebook Messenger could be used against someone in court. Data experts have suggestions for safeguarding that information. It all came to a head almost a month ago when a man came to pick up his dog and found his beloved shepherd mix sprawled on the concrete floor. It's been more than a year since Customs and Border Protection opened this soft-sided facility near the Tucson airport to house more migrants. Since then, thousands of people have made their way through this center, most of them young children. Since our arrival here at the Mexico and Guatemala border, we have seen a steady stream of people crossing this river. I am standing on the Mexican side of the border where people from both sides are here to work. For this segment of the Spring Spotlight series, I'm going to be talking about a program that is helping kids get easier access to play golf. That organization is the First Tee. Some believe ASU should not allow this event to take place. Others believe that freedom of speech should protect it. Inflation in Phoenix has increased from previous months. That means the price that we pay for basic needs, including shelter and food, are rising. Annie Levino shares more on how some families in the state are impacted more than others. If you need a job, now's a good time. New numbers are out from the Labor Department showing a major drop in unemployment claims. According to the CDC, over 22,000 cases of monkeypox have been reported in the United States. Around 400 of those are here in Arizona. Most cases are occurring in men who have sex with other men. But that has some worried about a return to the kind of fear-mongering seen at the beginning of another epidemic 40 years ago.
40,000 Americans will get AIDS this year and next.
Stigma surrounding the AIDS crisis in the 80s and 90s made for a dark time within the LGBTQ community. But it was also a powerful moment of mass mobilization to fight discrimination. Some wanted to force those with AIDS to quarantine or even carry around an ID card. With the rise of monkeypox, some see echoes of an ugly past.
History has a tendency to repeat itself, even when that history was unfounded in the first place.
Health got worries that, like HIV and AIDS, monkeypox is perceived by the public as a, quote, gay disease. The monkeypox virus is spread through direct contact with an infectious rash, scabs, or body fluids. Most people recover in a matter of weeks without the need for medical treatment. Data shows the majority of cases to date are among men who had sex or close intimate contact with other men.
The fact that a particular outbreak occurred prevalently in one community at its start doesn't mean that it occurred because of that community, doesn't mean that it, quote unquote, came from that community, and certainly doesn't mean that it is limited to that community.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued a guide to help reduce stigma around monkeypox. Suggestions include stressing that monkeypox can be acquired regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity.
Whether you are a cis heterosexual female or you identify as queer, it's skin to skin. We all have skin. So, let's protect everybody and get vaccinated when you can.
Simon's group held a virtual town hall last month to talk about stigma, how to identify symptoms, and when and where to get vaccinated. The Southwest Center is holding vaccine clinics every Wednesday this month, and Simon said men and women alike are coming in for the shots.
To see yesterday that a different demographic was already coming in and getting vaccinated kind of shows me that maybe our acknowledgement of us not learning anything early on and how we've all been taking a lot of time to talk about the stigma again and let's not repeat what we did last time, I think is at least something that's impacting how we're responding to this.
To learn more about monkeypox and get information about vaccinations, visit the Arizona Department of Health Services website. At the Google touchscreen, Geraldine Torrellas, Cronkite News.
People should be very concerned about their data privacy right now.
Cybersecurity expert Eva Galperin says there are reasons to worry about how personal data might be used now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. A study released in August found that text messages and browsing histories were used as evidence in criminal cases involving self-managed abortions. Post-Roe, some are cautioning women to stop using medical apps like period trackers, But that isn't Galprin's main concern.
It's not the smoking gun. It's just part of a whole constellation of evidence.
The most immediate threat might be common methods of daily communication. Notes through email, text, and Facebook Messenger could be used against someone in court. Data experts have suggestions for safeguarding that information.
That is the advice of being careful who you trust, compartmentalize any efforts towards ending your pregnancy, use end-to-end encryption with disappearing messages turned on.
Experts and advocates warn that everyone should be aware of their data footprint, with a growing concern for those who may not want an abortion, but due to unforeseen circumstances, find themselves seeking one.
You don't go into that situation thinking, oh, I might need to worry about my data privacy, right? You're thinking about, oh, I'm so excited, I'm pregnant, I'm going to have, I'm developing what may be my child.
With people being more cautious about the way they communicate, data experts are worried that law enforcement may turn to other measures to gather evidence.
We are very afraid that we're going to start seeing things like location dragnets, where the law enforcement simply asks for everyone who has been to the Planned Parenthood in the state across the border. And that is extremely worrisome.
Experts advise individuals to just be mindful about how they're communicating with reproductive providers and even how they pay for procedures.
I think it's very important for people to really familiarize themselves with their data footprint, and for companies to step up and protect people so that we don't have to become, Jason Bourne, in order to preserve some sort of bodily autonomy.
Instead of deleting medical apps, experts suggest looking closely at the privacy policies before using them and entering personal information. In the newsroom, Geraldine Torrellas, Cronkite News.